With this video, I'm absolutely thrilled to death that I can contribute material that absolutely does not exist on YouTube or any place. The Greist manufacturing company, Micro Height Gauge, did some research on the company, and they primarily were making sewing machine parts back in the day. So how they wound up making a precision tool is beyond me. But in any case, the video, I'm trying to recreate it. I did a bunch of shooting. I didn't know what I'm doing. I'm learning as I go. So I came back and kind of reorganized things so I could share the original footage of what I was doing. So hope you enjoy. This was another fun adventure, just like those square gauge blocks. So hope you enjoy. This one I'm very excited to be getting. A Micro Height Gauge. The box looks like it's in perfect condition. It came UPS, they just dropped it off, which was nice. Usually they drop it off and they don't even ring the doorbell. This guy just rang the doorbell, huh? Alright. And I guess the eBay invoice. Yep. Alright, stick that over there. And looking at the patent for this thing, I don't think I'm going to be taking it apart. No way. Oh, he wrapped it up really well. Good. Put the box down there. Alright, where's the tape? Tape. Tape starts and stops. Somewhere in here, I guess. Oh man, it's taped to the ends. I did not want this thing to get damaged, I guess, huh? Need to get another blade. This one's starting to get dull. There we go. Figure something out here. Jeez. Oh, this is getting alright. Why is this all? Definitely need another blade. Oh, I'm almost there. Jeez, sometimes I get super irritated at this stuff, man. Still hanging on. Alright. All the pieces are there. Oh, it looks, oh boy, is that heavy. Jeez, I mean, it is very heavy. Wow. Christ, Mike, oh man. Whoa, smooth feeling. I'm going to make this into a surface gauge. Boy, this is much nicer than the picture looked on eBay. Oof. So, beautiful condition. It's got somebody's initials on it, but wow. So, I'm going to be making an adapter here for this guy. This is hot stuff. Well, after hours and hours worth of detailing this guy, every little nook and cranny, an X-Acto knife to get all the oil and grease out of these cracks, some 50-year-old hardened grease, oil, everything. So now I want to show some of the original footage of me playing with this guy on the granite plate for the first time. So I guess let's go over the granite plate and see what happens. Alright, I got it on a 1-inch gauge block here. Let there be light. Clean this guy up. Gauge block and the guy. Alright, so here's the original video of my first time messing around with this thing. Doing a little bit of playing around with this thing. The two slot screws that are here, I had removed the top one just to see what it was, and it's a 3/48 screw. I didn't think they even made those things, but evidently I messed up the adjustment. Well, I don't know if it was correctly adjusted, but you can remove both screws and this whole arm comes out. And it was loaded with grease, oil, total mess. Lapped it very slightly with 1 micron diamond stuff to clean up the sides and stuff, and cleaned it all up. But evidently there's a little hole, I think you can see here in this plate. There's a set screw, and you want to run the set screw slightly out, and then the top and the bottom screws actually tilt this thing. I've got it pretty close right now. You do it without this on it. You're doing this bottom face, but I'm pretty darn close. I moved it or something here, huh? Yeah, there we go. I'm pretty darn close to level. I'm within a few tenths. Nah, it's about a half a thou, huh? Yeah, about a half a thou. So I'm gonna order the 2 screws to replace them since they've been messed up, and then I'll do the final adjustment. But that's really curious that you have to adjust the angle of this arm here. Then I bet you too, I'm going to read the patent. Bet you this hole is to calibrate. You can spin it around to calibrate the thing so you're on 0, because before I was slightly high and now I'm low, now that I've got it level. So I guess it wasn't level before. Yeah, I don't know why, but okay. Another good thing for the gauge blocks here. They're coming in very handy. This is nice. So bend that down a little. So onward and upward. I think I'm done with the detailing. The thing is pretty spotless all the way around, the groove, everything. Spent hours getting the grease out of here with an X-Acto knife. Pretty cool, man. Still really pleased with this thing. The bottom is like almost like a mirror here. Just slight scratches in there. There is one available. I just saw, it's a different one by HB Tools. It's a 4-incher for 120 bucks. Kind of looks pretty bad though, rusted out. I think I was lucky that this guy is so clean as this. So, okay, go up to 1 inch. Because one of these is 1 inch, the other one is 999. So if temperature did something, then I do. I want to go up, right? Yeah. So I got to look here for the 1 inch. Where am I? Alright, it's coming up. So if temperature did affect it, if I zero it out, it should not. Yeah, I'm coming up on 1 inch now. Hey, come on, where are you? 0, there it is. Alright, put it right on the 0. That's not it. That's right on the 0. Oh, I'm up 100,000, so I'm off. Okay, now where's the hole? There it is. That's 1 inch. Okay. So, can you tell for sure? Yeah, I'm very close to it. So which one's which here? It's stuck together. This is, okay, so this is the accurate one right here. This one is 1 inch tall, and I clear it. So I should clear this one too. Yeah, so if I take it down 1 thou, that's the mark there. Take it down, there's 1 thou. I forgot which one was which now. This is a Pratt & Whitney. That's the 999. So it should not clear this block. Yep. Because this is really 1 inch. It should clear this one. And it does. Yeah, this one's kind of like a boat here. It's bowed in. So if I take it down another thou, it should not clear that block. There's 1 thou, right? Man, it's hard to see that. Okay, it should not clear, and it doesn't. Look at that. Oh, I heard it. You hear it think it lifted up because it's bowed. So this is, take it back to a 1/2 inch then. Put this guy back. Why was he off, huh? Alright, go down to a 1/2 inch exactly. Down, down, down. Coming up on it, where's the dot? There's the hole. And jeez, it's hard to see. I went too far. So I've got it all adjusted except for the tilt on this thing. I haven't bothered doing that. And all the backlash, everything should be gone. Alright, so coming down, coming down. Is that exactly? No, it's not low enough. Well, very close to a 1/2 inch. And I'm still off? Yeah, I'm at 600 thousandths. Duh, one more revolution, huh? See if I can see it in the light now. Can't tell for sure. Yeah, it needs to come down a fraction more. But that should clear, and it does. Yeah, it's just barely touching. And if I take it down 1 thou, slowly turn it. Yeesh. That's almost 1 thou down. And it's clearing it. Wow. Yeah, I'm not even lined up. That's 1 thou, or 1/2 inch right there. Yeah, it's hitting it again. So something is off on it, right? No, I am down 1 thou. Jeez. So yeah, this is 0.499 and it doesn't clear. Let me bring it back up to a 1/2 inch. Where's the light? Yeah, so I can see what I'm doing. That's the line right there, huh? There, that is, I'm just under it, barely. There it goes, it clears. How interesting. I can hear a thump. So this might not be flat. So this is the only last thing I need to do to clean up and calibrate. But this thing is just beautiful. Now that I've got all the play and stuff out of it, nothing moves on it at all. And the backlash, all that junk is adjusted on it. So this is incredible. Alright, now after all the playing around with this guy, I'm starting to think, you know, it's got thousands tick marks on it. And I know it's filthy dirty inside. I had said, you know, I took this all apart and there was, you know, grease underneath everything. So I discovered that there is some play in this thing, backlash. So now I'm starting to think, take it apart, not take it apart. I'll show. I didn't record taking it apart for obvious reasons, which would be, you know, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm looking at this print thinking originally, no, don't touch it, because there's ball bearings down here, there's ball bearings up here, there could be springs in here, there's a set screw here, and I'm looking at this going, there's no hole back here for that. So, but then I started thinking, you know, if somebody else can, you know, an assembly line guy can put this thing together, I should be able to do it too. So I figured it's a neat thing, do it. What the heck? And I'll show all the parts and pieces, because I didn't record again, taking it apart because I didn't know what was going to happen. And I'm in a confined area trying to figure out, you know, hopefully a spring doesn't fly out, and I can't find it. Ball bearings are not going to roll off the bench on the floor. So, okay, so I guess I did decide to take it apart, and here's the shot of all the parts and pieces. Thought I'd just show this, taking it apart. It isn't even close to being as complicated as this, the patent picture shows. Undo the 2 screws on the arm thing here, undo the top, and yes, it just spins on the shaft. There's the shaft that was poking out of it. There's no notches to it or anything. Ball bearing, it just sits on the ball bearing in there and spins. This was the trick guy though. They didn't tap, that's the wrong side. These two holes here, they didn't tap them all the way down. So you couldn't run the set screws in any further, and inside there is the smallest little plastic plug that pushes on the lead screw to keep play out of it and so on. So the print shows one, there are two. You run it up and down and then you can feel the hole. I tapped it, I took the set screws out, got the plastic pieces out, which were like really hard and pressed in there. Tapped it all the way through. One didn't mess up, but I did mess up the thread. The wall got pushed out a little bit, so I had a hard time getting this in there. Wound up doing a special jig to pull the wall back, because they thread this thing just perfect to fit this thing to begin with. Got the plastic pieces back in there. So if you're going to tap it, use a bottom tap, but don't go inside here. You know, don't go where you're going to mess up the wall of the thread. I got everything back together, so I'm just going to put some grease all over it. I've cleaned it all up and put it back together. There is one extra screw here. That is a set screw, and it pushes the ball bearing up to get rid of the play. This, you can loosen it up, spin it any place you want so that it zeroes out. This guy, there's a hole in the back right there. Again, you slide it up and down so you can hit the two set screws that clamp on this. So now they'll be adjustable since I tapped it all the way through. You can now run the set screw and the little plastic pieces up against the lead screw here. So I'm glad I took it apart. It was a wreck inside. So that's everything to adjusting this. You level this guy out, you clamp this guy, you get rid of the vertical play with the bottom screw, and that's it. All right, in that description and the talk that I did about all the parts on the bench, I didn't do a very good job of it. Thing was 3 screws, 1, 2, 3. I removed those screws and the bottom started coming off, and then I saw all of a sudden the lead screw inside dropped, and so okay, I'm committed now. Evidently it's a very tight fit and you just got to work it, and it finally came off. And then now the lead screw's in there with this part. I had the arm off of it. So yeah, I undid the set screw and boom, top comes off, the whole thing comes out. What the problem was also that made me want to take it apart is I did discover there were set screws in here. The print shows there's supposed to be 1, turns out there's a lower one and an upper one, and you run this up and down, all of a sudden you can feel the Allen fall into a hole. Tried to tighten the set screws, they wouldn't move at all. I tried to untighten them and each one snapped. You know, I turn it like crazy, all of a sudden snap, it came loose. And then tried to retighten it. But I knew what they were supposed to be doing and nothing was happening. So that's why I took it apart. Then I discovered they didn't thread the holes completely, so the set screws were bottoming out on these little plastic slugs, weren't going in any further, they were worn out. So once I retapped it, put the slugs back in, now the set screws actually do something. So all the play now is gone from the arm. So yeah, it is very simple to take apart and put back together, and I'm really, really glad I did it. So I just need to, now, yeah, I had discovered and talked about all of the angling and stuff, so enough said on that. In closing, this is one neat little gadget. I've seen them rarely. They are very rare to even see one on eBay or any place to begin with. But the first one I saw, I've always been kind of fascinated with it. And usually when you see them, they're pretty bad. They're rusted up, thrashed, so very lucky to get this one. Paid $90 for it. Well worth every penny, if not for the education, but the entertainment value of playing with this guy. Did some research on it. There's very little information out there about it other than the patent. You know, I've seen pictures and there's the patent number in the picture, and then wound up finding the patent. It was done Greist Manufacturing Company. Patent was like 1950, so I don't know how old this is. I did contact the seller after receiving it, asking him, can you give me any history, any information on it, and never heard back. So I'm guessing he just picked it up at an auction or something and knows nothing about it. So in any case, I'm loving this thing. I did make a little stem. I'm not happy with it, to go in there to hold a test indicator. So I'm still brainstorming here how to make a better one. I think I'm gonna make it, you know, so you can't rotate it. It'll be dedicated for probably the mid-to-toyo indicator. Using this to as a surface gauge, trying to zero out 10,000 test indicator is probably not going to be easy. I haven't done it yet or tried it since I rebuilt it and all the play's gone. See how solid this thing is. If I can turn the dial and the needle doesn't move to some other position, I'm hoping I can make it solid. So yeah, if you guys can get one, find one that's not really thrashed, I highly recommend it. And I have no idea where the box went that it was in, or the base too. There's a 2-inch base I see. I'm gonna get a chunk of steel and see if I can make a 1-inch base for it. And I'll be making a box. But I'd really love to know what kind of wood this is, because I'd love to, you know, get that kind of wood and make the box out of that for it. So yeah, once you've got this thing nice and tuned in, you do not want to bang it around or damage it at all. So once I get the screws, I'll do the final leveling, and then I'll lap this while it's in the machine, in this thing, the height gauge, to see if I can get it nice and square, because I'm pretty sure this is not square. I did some lapping with it already. I clamped this in one of the position toolmaker vices and tried to make a stack in aluminum and some diamond lapping compound, and I could see, yeah, it's not straight. It's definitely off on one side. So a little bit more to do, but boy, the entertainment value, and it's a nice addition to the shop. So I'm really loving this thing.